I think when I found my wife and, we committed to doing this life together, I was like, I'm not sure what else matters. Like, if I'm rich, if I'm poor, I really am happy with just her. And I can tell you, I'm telling you today, like, something came up and I had to be like, you know what? I'm cool without you because I got my wife and I got my kids. My family, we good. And I don't need other people. Like, that was put to the test. And I'm telling you, I sincerely am good with what I have. All right, man, let's get into this. What's up?
What's up? Good evening, Mr. Fenton.
Good evening. Yeah. Good night. It's like 11 o'clock. It's crazy.
It is.
All right. So wait, before we talk, let me do the intro, get into this. Welcome, y'all, to Products of Circumstance. It's the podcast with Ken Skeen, myself, Fenton Joseph. We are Black men speaking about our personal development journeys as men, fathers, and husbands in hopes that others can learn and grow with us. The show is unscripted, unfiltered, and mostly unedited. We choose our topics randomly. Ken's going to tell us what we're going to talk about in a second. First, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that does help out. All right, my brother, it's been a minute. How you been, first of all?
I'm good, man. I had a nice family day today. Went out to the end of the island with the kids, the wife. Left the dog at home, of course. But it was nice, man. Walked on the beach, took some nice pictures, got some family photos.
Nice.
Collected some seashells, some rocks, some driftwood. It was a good day. Can't complain.
That sounds fun. I'd like to take my family to the beach.
How was your day?
It was rough, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was rough. I don't know what we plan on talking about today, but it was a rough day. Had some family stuff going on, and no matter what we talk about, I'm probably gonna find a way to talk about whatever I had going on today. So, with that being said, what's your topic?
You didn't do an intro, man.
I did it at the top because I wanted to get it out of the way.
Oh, my bad. All right, so I do listen to audiobooks, a lot actually. Probably 2 a month. Most of my audiobooks are between 6 to 15 hours long.
Hey.
While I drive, because I have an hour to hour and 15-minute drive each way every day, so why not? So I'm listening to Les Brown right now. Anyone who doesn't know who Les Brown is, he's a motivational speaker. He's amazing. At least I think so.
Big fan.
Opinion. But right now I'm listening to The Power of Purpose. Kind of stumbled on it. I know of Les Brown. I never downloaded one of his books before. Finally did. I follow him on the social media platforms. But something hit me yesterday when I was driving to work, and it was a quote that he said. I'll say the background of his story, but his quote was, "I'm doing better than good and better than most." So the quote again is, "I'm doing better than good and better than most." And he was talking about a friend of his that got breast cancer. And she was told, you have a 60-40 chance of survival or 40-60 chance of survival based on the breast cancer she had gotten
40,
news
60.
of.
What?
It was like, either way, doesn't matter. Not even. And he got on the phone with her, and, she didn't sound the way he's used to her sounding. He's very down on herself and almost kind of tried to end the phone call with, "It's been a pleasure knowing you. I love you. Hope to see you again in the afterlife." And he realized she wanted to commit suicide. But then to listen, I gave her all the different things from the Bible of don't do this, don't do that. God wants you here. Your friends and family are going to miss you. Gave her different verses from the Bible. Nothing was working, and he said, "Do me one favor. Don't do it today. Wait until after tomorrow."
I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Wait. Don't do it today. Wait until after tomorrow. I want to take you somewhere. I want to introduce you to one of my other friends. That's all I ask. If you choose, after meeting this other person that I know, to go ahead and end your life, I will step aside and you do what you need to do. He picks her up the next day, takes her to the friend's house. The friend that he has is a lady that's she's like one of the, like an elder, and she's been bedridden for years now. She can't move her bones, her joints. She can't walk. She can't move her arms. She can talk though. And the lady who just got breast cancer said you have a slow survival rate. She's like, how? Like, they meet, they get to talk, and they leave. And now she's talking to Les Brown and says, I can't believe I was going to end my life because I got breast cancer. I just met this amazing woman that can't move. She can't move her limbs. She can't do anything. But her quote, when I asked her, how do you wake up in the morning and not want to just end it all? She said, well, I'm doing good and better than most.
Mm.
So she's doing better. If she has the mindset to say, I'm doing better than most, I'm sitting here crying that the doctor said I might not survive. Oh, by the way, the lady ended up surviving, yada, yada, yada. But
Praise God.
The quote hit me because I am a big advocate on when someone asks me, how's your day, I hate when people do that whole, it's a Monday, the day. What's the saying? I can't stand that saying either. It's probably why I forget it. There's something about the Mondays.
Case of the Mondays.
Thank you. Case of the Mondays. I can't stand that. Shut up.
That's the name of my networking group. I kid you not. It's called Case of the Mondays.
I'm not a fan of that quote.
Way.
No, I get it. I'm not a fan of that quote. Case of the Mondays. Shut up. You woke up in the morning. And I understand that some people get disgusted that I'm always so positive. Trust me, there are days that I want to sit in the corner and cry.
Sure.
Trust me. I'm a human being.
Right.
I'm raising children.
Yeah.
Married man. I got work. I got bills to pay. I get it. There are days I want to just shut down. But I also do, I say it on a daily basis to people. I woke up this morning doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I say it on a daily basis to multiple people. I woke up this morning doing well. And you'll see some people, they'll be grouchy and they hear that quote like, oh, wow, yeah. I did wake up this morning. Maybe this flat tire isn't so bad. Maybe this extra report I have to do for work isn't so bad. Maybe because my kid did bad in school isn't so bad. You woke up in the morning. You're doing better than most.
Right.
All right. And a lot of us, we've talked about it, and you and I talk about it sometimes about first world problems. We got a lot of first world problems, man. You woke up in the morning, you got a roof over your head, and people who don't have a roof, I'm sorry, homeless people in this country, listen, people are suffering. But there's homeless people in this country that live better than other families in other countries outside of the United States.
No, right? It's facts. I once saw a homeless guy with a cell phone. I said, where does he charge it?
I've seen many of them with cell phones. So, and again, I'm not saying that, homelessness is not a problem. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not saying
it's real.
Suffering right now.
You have
veterans out there suffering right now. They can't get the right medication. They can't get the right help. I'm just saying in general, we have a lot of first world problems. So you're doing better. You're doing good, and you're doing better than most. Believe it. You got to believe it. And then when I heard that quote, it definitely resonated. It definitely resonated with me because I keep that positive attitude. I'm not always positive. Trust me. You hear me positive? I'm not. I'm human.
You heard it and just peace washed over you and your bills just disappeared.
No, man. There's moments, not days. There's only moments. I don't have bad days.
Right.
I may have a bad moment, but I don't let that affect my entire day. And that took a lot of practice.
Right.
To practice. It takes practice because you got to practice it every day.
Right.
To learn how to keep your emotions at bay and try your hardest to know, all right, I've got this. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. And you got to say it to yourself. I say it to myself every single day. Because there are those moments. I want to punch someone in the throat, but I don't.
I think there's a lot of pushback when you tell somebody it could be worse. I would say that as somebody who's lived, life a bit, I know what it feels like to be down and out. And yeah, it's the last thing on your mind when you're going through it is that somebody else has it worse than you. I would say, however, that I think it's a really great motivator. And I think it's a really good, perspective, balancing, thing to undertake, to say, let me look around and see what other people got going on. Let me get out of my own self, centered, mindset and see like what else is going on with other people. And, it could be people in your own family. It could be people on your job, people wherever you are in your immediate context is probably somebody who's, going through some things that, maybe you didn't know about, partly because you were rightfully worried about your own stuff. There's no shame, there's no guilt in it. It's your life. Live your life. You're worried about your stuff. I had somebody said something to me the other day, and it was like, like, oh, you don't remember, such and such happened. I was like, no, it's like that didn't happen to me. Like I wasn't thinking about that. It's like, this is your life. It's not my life, whatever. But if I take a moment to think about it, it's like, oh, all right. Yeah, no, I guess, you were kind of going through some things. Nobody's paying attention to you and you're not paying attention to other people. But that's the beauty of it. If you take a moment and just be intentional about thinking about other people and noticing what other people are dealing with, you start to figure out pretty quickly that whatever you have going on is like, it can suck, but it's probably not that bad. And, the obvious argument again is like, well, your burden is your burden. Like being diagnosed with cancer is crazy. Like that's not cool. Nobody wants to hear that. Mm-hmm. So how do you tell somebody who has cancer, it could always be worse? Well, apparently Les Brown figured out an eloquent and reasonable way to do it.
Yes, he did.
So it's like, I love that that's a very like extreme case, because it shows that it can be done. There is nuance to these things for sure. And you don't ever want to be insensitive. Like let's say you're somebody that knows somebody that's going through and you're like, man, you know what? That's really good advice. I'm gonna go share that with somebody and tell them, hey, somebody else has it worse than you. Like, don't be insensitive about it.
Right.
It's like your leg just got blown off and you're like, there's people with no legs. Like, okay, that's not really helpful right now.
I heard it on POC, man. It could be worse. Listen.
I'm going to stop because there might be somebody listening who's, going through something, like related to their physical body or whatever. I'll just speak for myself, for instance, right? I am very motivated to buy a house, right? We've lived where we've lived. It's a very nice place, but we want to get in a house. And interest rates are crazy and the prices of homes are crazy. And you're my best friend, so it's been a while and like we really just want to get something, but the market's not really having it. And what's been helpful for me is talking to other people who are in a similar boat. And like, you know what? It's not just you. There's people who also have been looking for a long time and haven't found something that's within their budget. And I don't know how else to say it other than like, it's made me feel better to know that it's not just me. Mm-hmm. It's like, and we live in a nice place and then we live in a nice town and there's water down the street and there's Starbucks and there's there's a really nice pastry place down the street. And I like our neighbors. Like there's nothing wrong with where we are. We could stay put. Not only could we stay put, but we can stay put and, not break the bank also. Like God has us here for a reason and for a season. And it's not necessarily for us to decide when that season is going to be over. We can hope and pray and work towards our goals, but, when it's our time, it's our time. And I guarantee you that when it's our time, we won't be any less grateful and we won't be any less appreciative and happy that, we got our at bat. And I think, if we can bring things a little, closer to center, because we do tend to talk to people who are entrepreneurs and people in the workplace and things like that, whatever you're dealing with, it's temporary. A wise man said, everything is temporary if you wait long enough. So whatever situation that you're in, you have to keep in mind that there's an end to it. And then there's going to be something else that comes. Because I'll tell you what, when we get the house, guess what? It's probably going to be the oil bill, you know.
What you mean probably?
We live in the Northeast, you know. There's going to be that expense. There's going to be cooling expenses. There's going to be, God forbid something happens with the roof and the boiler and the this and the that. And there's the landscaping and all these things. And it's like, then you'll be like, the thing that I wanted, the blessing that I was asking for, the change in my situation that I was praying for, that I was complaining about, now you got something better, and then that's a problem for you. That's a new headache, So I try to be really grateful for what I have. I love my family, and man, I tell you, Ken, there's some very just basic tenets that we always come back to. And sometimes I feel a little silly. Like if somebody watched episode 1 or 2 and then watched this one, they'd be like, these guys just keep talking about the same stuff over and over again. It's like, it's not helpful. It's like, no, but that's the thing. It's like, it really is not that hard. Being grateful. I love my life. I'm very happy with the people that are in my life. And when I think about them, I'm like, come on, I couldn't be any richer. Anything I could possibly complain about pales in comparison to the richness of love that I get to experience on a daily basis. My wife and kids, my friends like you, my family. Come on, man. Does it get any better? Like, we're doing good over here.
Yes, it does get better.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Okay.
But my mindset is always
Yeah.
I am so content where I am that anything above and beyond is just icing on the cake. It's just another huge blessing. And, I'll end with this for myself. I had to learn how to be happy, like genuinely happy with what I've got, because I wasn't always happy. I was always thinking about the next thing, and the next car and the next move.
Wait, wait. I got to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, go.
You can be happy with what you have. You can be content. You can be grateful for what you have. But there's no problem with wanting more. When you have more, hopefully you're in the mindset of abundance.
Yeah.
Not just you, just in general, right?
Yeah.
And you wanting more. Didn't we just talk about this in the last episode? Wanting more gives you the ability to give more. So there's nothing wrong, people, with having, accepting, appreciating, all that good stuff. But there's also nothing wrong with thinking and expressing that you want more. You want a bigger house. You want a bigger car. You want better.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is some people never get to that place of accepting. Some people never get to the place of being content. You know what I'm saying? It's like they can't stop and just take a moment and be like, let me look around and see, like, where am I in life? And it's like, this is good. And just enjoy it for what it is. Like, some people are never happy with their spouses. Some people are never happy with their kids. They're never happy with their jobs. They're never happy with what they have. And you look at them and you're like, you have a lot. And they're like, it's not enough, or it's not good enough, or it's not what I wanted. Things aren't always going to turn out the way that you want. You got to learn to be content even when it's not what you want.
Yes.
I'm
not talking to those people.
Yeah, no, you're talking to the other. I'm talking to those people.
Yeah, I'm
and I'm not admonishing, but I'm saying from my personal experience, like, there were times when I just didn't appreciate the life that I had because I was always thinking about growing in the next thing. Like, I missed a lot of family birthdays, 2 trips to Trinidad to hang out with my family and my mom for like her birthdays. Like, I missed that. I wasn't there. And not for no other reason than because I was like, oh, I'm working. I got to go to the next thing. It's like, whoa. You've been working so that you can do what? You can have money. Take that money and go be with your family. Like, everyone's getting on a plane and going to see your mother. And your excuse is, sorry, Mom, I'm working. Like, working for what? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, the whole point is to be able to do things with the people that you care about and that you love. And I completely glossed over that. Like my 20s was like a weird time. It was great in the sense that I was hyper focused on like hitting goals and stuff like that. But it didn't really matter like what I did. I wasn't being present. And that affected romantic relationships, personal relationships. Like it was a bit of a train wreck when I look back on it. I don't have fond memories of my 20s when it comes to like relationships. Not fond memories. I did not do a good job because I just wasn't being present. I wasn't being content.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And now what flipped the switch? Was it
probably getting married? I found a person that I was like, I can do life with this person for the rest of my life. I don't want another woman. I'm not looking at other women. I got what I want and I'm happy. And, it's 80-20, right? I my wife is going to be like, we've talked about this openly, so she understands what I mean. But like, you're not, and there's no perfect person. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always going to be things that you're going to gripe about with your spouse. Otherwise, no one would ever have any arguments or debates. Like, that's not the way that life works. Well, what you can do is you can make sure that you have somebody who is your friend, who is loyal, who respects you, and obviously that you're attracted to. And for me, it was really important to have somebody who was resilient because life is hard. It throws a lot of curveballs at you. It knocks you down. I'm a resilient person, but I don't want to be the only person getting back up and choosing to fight another day. So I found that person and I'm very happy. I'm very content because we do life together really well. And so I think when I found my wife and, we committed to doing this life together, I was like, I'm not sure what else matters. Like if I'm rich, if I'm poor, I really am happy with just her. And I could tell you, I'm telling you today, like something came up and I had to be like, you know what? I'm cool without you because I got my wife and I got my kids. My family, we good. And I don't need other people. Like that was put to the test. And I'm telling you, I sincerely am good with what I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's you know what? There's a lot of people out there who aren't content with their marriages, with their families, with their children. So to hear that is definitely refreshing. You're out there too. You're in the business world. You hear some of the stuff people talk about their families. I'm like, I shake my head. I'm like, I don't tell you talking about.
We know
Want
what
to go
it
to the bar
is,
after work?
bro.
Nah, I'm not going to the bar after work. I'm good. Yo,
Exactly.
You want to go hang out? Nope, don't want to go hang out. You want to go watch the game? Nope, don't want to watch the game. What are you doing? Like, I'm going home.
All the guys that want to go to the strip club after work, who will find every reason to not go home. Every reason to not go home. We got someplace else to go. You want to hang out with the guys. Like, you want to go hang out with a bunch of dudes. It's like, I like my wife. I married her. I chose her. I want to go spend time with her. Hang out with you. Hang out with you for? When we make time to hang out, that's cool. But every night after work, you hanging out with the fellas, like you don't want to go home. That's crazy. And I'm not, here to unpack your relationship issues and why you don't want to go home, whatever. But it's just the state of where you are. It's like you're clearly not content. You're not happy. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here buying another round. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm good on that. That's a good wrap up, though. I like that.
I just read what's on the teleprompter.
Thank you for sharing.
Let me say this. Sorry, I'm sorry. Let me say this last thing. When COVID happened, when the pandemic happened, I was working with this attorney. She does mediation. It's like instead of going to trial, for divorce, she would do the mediation. And business was booming. Because people were stuck together in homes and realized, I don't like you. And people were just splitting left and right. In the courts, her business was booming because the courts were closed. So people
Right.
couldn't get the divorce, proceedings, you know what I'm saying, going. So they would settle through mediation instead. It was like something they could do outside of the courts, I guess, in the meantime or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it goes. So don't, quote me on how divorce court works. I don't care. I don't need to know, prayerfully. But my point is that people discovered, yeah, I don't even like really spending time with you. Like, it's better when I'm at work and you're at work, and then we come home for a couple hours and we tolerate each other. My wife and I, we were great. It was like, I didn't want her to go back to work when it was time, and she didn't want to go back to work. It was like, this is amazing. We get to spend all this time together. It's like, whatever it is, your personal relationship, your work stuff, try to put yourself in a position where you're like, I like being here. Not every job is going to give you joy. I get it. I understand. But, you should probably work towards that. There's I'm gonna stick with the relationship thing real quick, because I think this is really a helpful analogy for people. I would never call anybody ugly, ever. I don't believe in it. Nobody's ugly. Everyone is beautiful. Everyone. And there's somebody for everyone. There's things that somebody else will see. And listen, if you don't believe me, watch your spouse and see when people are trying to holler. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you screw up and watch how fast your spouse can get with somebody else. You think nobody wants the person that you broke up with just now? Like, watch how fast they end up with somebody else. Like, trust me, dog, people see the good in other people. And it's like, if you don't see the good in your spouse and see their redeeming qualities and everything that's great about it, like, somebody else will. Somebody else will. And the same thing goes for your job. You got the job that somebody wants.
Yes.
And they would come to work bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and crush it. And you show up late and, do a halfway job and complain and, wish that you could do something else. It's like, you have to figure out how to find the good in whatever station you're in life. And that's my actual wrap up. You can tell by my voice. My voice got low.
Golf claps all around, sir.
That's a really good topic, man. That's good stuff. I don't remember what it was, but the conversation was good.
Les Brown.
I'm
doing good. I'm doing better than most.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Thank you, Les Brown.
Doing good. I'm doing better than most.
And thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Fenton. You're an amazing, amazing man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. Likewise. All right, y'all, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share with somebody who's on their personal development journey. All right. Peace.